teen, and next thing you know, they're telling you, "Oh my God, you got cancer, you got this, or you got that, or whatever."
Yeah.
It's horrible.
This is we're getting to that age when those numbers are hitting our age group.
Yeah, and it's scary, you know, because we both did some shit that's going to catch up to us eventually.
Well, yeah, I think about that. I'm hoping I quit soon enough that it's been healing.
Me too. I'll be honest, I do too.
Man,
But you never know.
no, you don't.
You never know. This
Body
shit,
chemistry or just the way you're built sometimes.
this
You
shit
know,
just hangs in the shadows. It just hangs there, right? Then it comes out and gets you.
it's like when you attribute like the cancer to smoking. There's always that exception. You get one guy that smokes roll your owns from when he's 10 and he lives to be 100. But
Yeah,
that's the exception.
there's always one, right?
Yeah.
There's always that one exception. Look at Larry. You and I thought forever it would be Ricky that died first.
Yeah, Ricky's still hanging in there.
Yeah, Ricky's still hanging in there, right?
Heart attack, cancer, and everything else. And
Larry, not a thing wrong with him.
no.
Not a thing wrong with him, other than I mean, he rolled his own cigarettes. Well, your half sister rolled it for him, but
Yeah. Oh, man.
that was it, right? That was it. I mean, the guy was healthy as a horse. I mean, he was going to well, this is going back a few years, right? I mean, he was going to Disney. He was doing all these things. He was active as all hell.
Yeah, he liked to go to Disney with his niece and stuff.
Hmm.
He used to take her.
I mean, there was. I mean, you never would have known there was anything just lingering there at all. Next thing you know, scary. It is. It's scary.
Oh, here, I love this quote. I don't know if it made me look. Kyla in the Berg, she always has a good one. At this point, Peter Ducey should just sit on the floor at the base of the podium with a leash attached to a collar that reads, "If lost, return to the woman who owns me daily, Jen Psaki."
Did you see how she started that whole thing with "Welcome back"? Right? I mean, I don't know what to do with this guy. It's like part of me is like, I give him a lot of credit for going there, knowing he's going to get his head handed to him, and he keeps going back.
I think he thinks he can outwit her, and it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. I mean, these are not the four idiots that you had in the last administration, right? This one actually has a brain.
Oh, and she's well versed.
This poor guy keeps going back every day and keeps getting his head handed to him every day. And she does it with a smile.
Yes, she does.
She does it with a smile. I remember the one time she complimented his socks. Remember?
Oh my God.
This guy is definitely making a name for himself, and not in a good way.
Have you seen the excerpts of stuff coming out between Kremlin papers and books and stuff
Oh
that
my God. Yeah. All this shit's starting to hit the fan now, isn't it?
is really like, okay, we thought he was an idiot for years, but man, it goes deep.
And if you read the at least the it was really the Guardian that really the UK's Guardian that really that's the one that caught my eye the most, right? Uh, Putin personally authorized the secret spy agency operation to support a mentally, quote unquote, mentally unstable Donald Trump during the 2016 U.S. presidential election during a closed session of Russia's National Security Council, according to what are assessed to be leaked Kremlin documents. Lou, I'm going to stop right there for a second. Okay, I'm just going to stop right there. So even people at this point on the other side of the Atlantic saw this guy for being mentally unstable. How are you sitting here on this side of the Atlantic looking at this guy, looking at Hillary, and thinking this asshole is the better choice?
Shows you the power of propaganda, misinformation, and the media not properly doing their job.
Well, no.
Liberal media.
Yeah, and I mean, I can remember him calling it in on Morning Joe.
You're right, and you can't even blame. Yeah, he'd call in Morning Joe, him and Mika.
Yeah, you really can't even blame this on Fox Entertainment.
No, it was all of them. I mean, Fox has their place, but it was a clown show. They were making money on it. I mean, and you know, anybody that had read anything or knew anything about Trump knew what kind of piece of shit he was when he was in business.
Well, even Mika knew, and she still went along with it.
You know, I mean, do you realize that first election? Now, I know New York City is liberal. They tend to vote Democratic, but when it's 84 to 16%, they've known about his shit for years.
Forever. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, because they lived with him. They knew him. They knew what he was.
They knew he screwed contractors. They knew he screwed, you know, anybody he dealt with.
Everybody in New York and New Jersey knew him. How many people did he fuck over in Jersey?
Oh, there was hundreds of subcontractors.
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds.
So Putin saw this one coming a mile away, right? Because this guy, he went through the KGB system. He was primed. He showed initiative. He ended up either outmaneuvering or killing anybody in his way to get to the top. This is taking candy from a baby.
You know, and I don't care what the conservative right fails to see because they have authoritarian in their brains. They look at Putin coming off with his smile and says, "Oh, he's not a bad guy. We should be more like him and telling people what to do." They don't give him credit for being, you know what? That guy's he's smart.
Oh, he's smart.
Oh, he's smart. Always has been. You know, like you said, he was trained by the KGB and whatever else agency there was at the end of the Cold War. You know, and he knows how to destabilize countries. And there you go, right there. What's the paper say? Mentally unstable and compromat. So what's the compromat? And you know, everybody says, "Oh, it's the P tape." I don't think if that ever came out, nobody would have cared. What do you think the compromat is? Personal loans from Putin?
It goes back to Deutsche Bank.
Tapes of him with Epstein with young girls underage back in the pageant days? That would be, I could believe that.
Yep. Yeah, I could too.
You know, that I got a feeling, you know what, and when they're out spying on people, you can't tell me he didn't pull some stuff down between all those people that Trump ran around with.
Oh, yeah.
How easy would it have been for one of the Russian mob to get in on that scene in New York City?
Oh, it would have been simple.
All they had to do is flash some money.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what's her name got into what do you call it? The NRA just by flashing her tits.
Yeah. Maria. The hell was her name? Maria. It was Maria something, right?
Right, yeah. All she did was smile and show a little leg, and fuck, she was in. She ended up taking them all to fucking Russia over Christmas.
She took him to Russia.
So
and I'll bet she didn't even have to work hard for them pigs.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no shit. So you think it would have been hard for somebody who was actually KGB trained to be here in New York City and just hang out with Trump? Come on. This is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. This one's easy. And you know what? He just continuously was easier and easier and easier.
There's Maria Butina. I couldn't think of her last name.
Yes.
She dyed her hair red, grabbed the rifle, and they fell for her.
And they fell. Well, redheads will do that to you. You know, I mean, it's not fair. Okay. You know, I mean, I want to motherfuck these guys as much as I can, but I got to give them a little bit of slack. Okay. A redhead will kill you. She'll eat you from the inside.
Lisa's gonna stab you.
Thank God she can't hear me and she doesn't watch. But yeah, you know what? That's what got me. So you know, when you get somebody as trained as he is, Lou, who's been a part of this whole thing, he started from the ground up. And you're putting somebody who's just as totally corrupt and inept as Trump, and you're basically putting them on equal footing, right? Because the leader of Russia, the leader of the U.S. It comes down to a one-on-one thing. Putin's not going to lose that. I don't care how much you handicap him.
You know what? And he knows how to take advantage of a narcissistic individual. How hard do you think that was for him? Easy. Just like you said, it was like, this is gravy, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a no-brainer for him. He was begging for this. Plus the fact that they had all the disinformation shit going on Facebook, which, again, biggest piece of shit on the planet. Right, and everything else. He had 4 years. I'll be honest, he kind of fucked up because I don't think he got nearly what he wanted out of 4 years.
Well, did you see some of the excerpts I saw? I've been off and on today with looking at stuff when I had time. Basically, if he would have won that election, he was pulling out of NATO and South Korea.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a bit. He'd have pulled out of those, and the next thing you know, well, let me ask you this one. Let me turn this around for a second. Do you think that Putin cared about what he was doing here as much as or do you think he cared more? I'm not saying he didn't care about what he was doing here, but do you think his bigger goal was all these other places on the globe that he could establish a foothold?
Yeah. You know what? I think when you look at the long game for the Russians, he did what he wanted to do here with Trump. What'd he do? Divisive based on race.
Right.
Okay, distraction here. The long game was, when you think about what he was targeting there, don't you think he was targeting all those things that used to be countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union, and he wanted them back?
Yeah, it just seemed to be that way, huh? And don't forget, he also had a huge interest in the Middle East.
Correct. I mean, you know, when you see what Russia annexes, and looking at like ports for shipping and Navy and stuff, I mean, he wanted Ukraine, Crimea, probably Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania back up on that tier, Ukraine, some of Eastern Europe, he would have probably still managed to get a little if they would have pulled out of NATO. I mean, he's been in Iraq for years. They got a presence in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think he was trying to? I bet he would have rolled more of Turkey under him. He wouldn't have maybe annexed them, but I mean, it'd be a stronger ally.
Let's not forget. I've said forever that he is the smartest person in the trailer park, right? Because Russia is basically a trailer park. So what's going to be to his advantage? It's just acquiring more things, more stuff, right? That's to his advantage. Making a global presence, a global foothold. That's what he wants. I'm not so sure that his ultimate goal was to disrupt things here. I think that was a happy.
It was a bonus.
Yeah, it was a byproduct, right? But he wanted other places, and he just happened to he got what he didn't want. He took it, and I guess he did pretty well at it. But I don't think that was his initial goal. He wanted to disrupt things. He wanted to do all that here. But that was simply because he wanted footholds and he wanted strength someplace else. Right? Because he even knows now that, even then.
About 30, it's in the 30 percentile range. Money coming from oil.
Yeah.
Maybe looking to control more oil, but I don't know if he sees the writing on the wall with, energy too. With renewables and stuff too. I mean, you could have all the oil you want, but if people no longer need it, it's economic. It's like coal. Who the hell wants coal now?
Right. Nobody. Going back to the Guardian article, the Guardian has shown the documents to an independent expert who say they appear to be genuine. So they're keeping their story. Incidental details came across as accurate. The overall tone and thrust is said to be consistent with Kremlin security thinking. All right, so here's where we kind of get into the weeds a little bit. The Kremlin responded dismissively. Putin spokesman said that the idea that Russian leaders had met and agreed to support Trump in the meeting in early 2016 was fiction. However, the report number 32-04/VD, classified as top secret, says that Trump is the, quote, most promising candidate from the Kremlin's point of view. The word in Russian is, I'm not even going to try to, perspektivny. Just
how do you spell it?
Perspektivny. The brief psychological assessment of Trump, who is described as a, quote, impulsive, mentally unstable, and unbalanced individual who suffers from an inferiority complex. Holy fuck, we've been saying that for 4 years. There's also apparent confirmation that the Kremlin possesses compromise or potentially compromising material on him, collected, as the document says, from Trump's earlier, quote, non-official visits to Russian Federation territory. So that's where the P tape comes in, and that whole thing, and probably some other stuff. I agree with you. The P tape's not that big a deal. But dude, I would not put it past me that he was banging a 14, 16-year-old Russian girl.
Right? That would be my guess over there, and he probably set it up. How long ago?
Well, that was what, 2016, 2014?
And when was he doing those?
12 or 13?
He was in the early 2000s doing some of those pageants over there because he wanted to get a hotel built in Moscow.
Yeah. There was a document that was circulated. Was a 3-page executive summary of what the Kremlin came up with on January 14th of 2016, which said basically Putin instructed then chief of his foreign policy, Alexander Manchushkin, to convene a closed briefing of the Security Council. The purpose was to further study Trump and to see how they could start manipulating him. The paper does not name Hillary. It does suggest that employing media resources to undermine her was probably the best way to go. There are paragraphs on how Russia might insert media viruses, quote unquote, media viruses, into the American public life, which could become self-sustaining and self-replicating. These would alter mass consciousness, especially in certain groups. That would be the conservatives. Let's face it, it's going to be. They played this thing like a champ. Okay, Lou, they played this thing like a champ. They sat back, they watched what everybody was doing, and they decided they were going to take advantage of it. And what have we always said about Facebook and so forth, right? There's no security there. There's no nothing. You can basically put up on Facebook that the sky is green, and 50% of the people who watch it is going to believe it. I mean, it goes back. I'm going off on a tangent a bit, but it goes back to our initial problem with Facebook to begin with, right? But that being said, and for me personally, platforms never change. Well, they've said a whole lot of bullshit, but at the end of the day, their policies haven't changed. But they saw what they had, and they took advantage of it, and they made Trump the more attractive choice, and they had the media to back it up because he was doing nothing but drawing ratings. It was a perfect storm.
You know, when you think about the initial debates where Hillary was there and says, "Why don't you ask him about Russia?" or however she put it, he's owned by Russia. Boy, she knew something.
Yeah, she knew.
She knew, dead on. It was, but everybody worried about her emails.
Her damn emails. Right? And who pushed that one the most?
Facebook.
Fox and Facebook.
Fox and Facebook.
Yep. And everybody was his friend, right? Joe Scarborough was his friend. They were tight, remember?
Yeah.
Hillary's fighting for airtime. This asshole's waking up in the morning, laying down in bed and calling it in.
I had read somewhere where he basically got $1 billion worth of airtime free during that campaign from when he started till the election.
Yep, they were all on the bandwagon. And I got news for you. Scarborough would have stayed on the bandwagon right up until, and the only thing that stopped him was the shit that he went whenever he went after Mika with the bleeding from wherever.
Yeah.
If he didn't do that, Scarborough would still be sucking his dick. Right? He still would be. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Well, I don't like to say it because I don't like the guy to begin with, but whatever. So as this whole thing continued, we go through this whole thing. He loses the election. I'm gonna, we have January 6th. We have everything that happened after January 6th. And then we come all the way up to today. Okay? All the way up to today. And Lou, I got to share this with you because this is the person that this David Shepardson who posted this up on Twitter. I think he pretty much described it as the OJ. Remember OJ's book? Something like what did he call it? If I would have done it or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember? So here we go. Dude, you can't make this shit up, okay? this is the statement released by this asshole today. Sorry to inform you, but an election is my form of coup, and if there was ever going to be a coup, one of the last people I would want to do it is General Mark Milley. He got his job only because the world's most overrated. Look at this. The world's most overrated general, James Mattis, could not stand him, had no respect for him, and I would not recommend. The fact that Mattis didn't like him, just like Obama didn't like him, and actually fired Milley was a good thing, not a bad thing. Yada 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 yada. You know what he's talking about with Milley here, right? In any event, I lost respect for Milley when we walked together to St. John's Church. You remember that one, right? Whenever they tear gassed everybody to get away from the church.
Yeah.
Which was still smoldering from a radical left fire set the day before, which is a crock of shit. Remember, Milley said if he'd have known that it was going to be a photo op, he never would have joined them. Remember that shit?
Yeah, I read in one of those excerpts is he saw Ivanka pulling the Bible out of a bag, and he said, "What is that for?"
Mm-hmm. This is pretty much the OJ book. I love this. What's going on over here with this response, right? This is the dumbest, the most obviously Trumpian confession ever that he uses a bizarre coup denial to conflate coups with elections and attack the character of 2 U.S. generals and a former president before finally pivoting to race baiting and Confederacy beautification is stunning, right? Dude. We've said for the longest time, if you ever want to if you ever want to hang this guy, all you got to do is let him talk. Eventually, he tells you the truth, right?
It's amazing how many conservatives project everything now. If you listen,
isn't it something else? Isn't it? I've been saying it for years. I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. He's going to jail. And you can see them actually panicking over there now. Whenever he's putting out shit like this, he's panicking. Hi, Master Grant.
Hey, hi guys. How are you?
what's going on?
Can you hear me okay?
You're a little muffled, actually.
Yeah, let me change my mic to my machine. Hold on. Because I got these headsets on and the mic's not real good. Give me 1 second.
I must say those look mighty dapper, though.
Video, audio. Better? Is that sounding any better?
That sounds much better.
Okay.
Yeah, much better. We were just talking about the Kremlin papers.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw
no, guys, I did not, so you have to fill me in.
And the Guardian, you know, the English tabloid.
Uh-huh.
The Kremlin papers appear to show Putin's plot to put Trump in the White House. Documents suggest Russia launched secret multi-agency effort to interfere in U.S. democracy. Basically, what this is saying, and you folks, you can go read it, just go look at the Guardian, is remember how everybody on the right was motherfucking the Steele dossier, but none of them could ever prove it wrong, right? They just decided to motherfuck it instead. Turns out he was onto something. Looks like he was right. And now you're seeing there's Russian documents that leaked that are proving it. I got to be honest. I kind of feel bad for whoever leaked them because they're going to die if anybody ever finds out. So they better be very careful.
Yeah. And but what's going to happen with this? Well, what's going to happen?
Nothing's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, nothing's actually going to happen other than you might get the few people who are on the fence, that are going to say, you know what, that's enough. This guy's just rotten to the core.
Well, we know that, but we also know that he's going to be running with JFK Jr.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I
but
didn't hear about that.
they're digging JFK Jr. up somehow, and him and Trump, 2024.
No way. Well, you know what? They got Hugo Chavez to change all the votes. So at this point, nothing surprises me. So he's a junior, huh?
Yes.
Don't let him fly a plane. What do you make of this, Master Grant? My argument always is, you know what? Eventually, the truth comes out.
Yeah, I agree, and then it's going to be spun. So what do I make of it? I think what are the pundits over at Fox News doing right now in order to, spin this so that somehow it's the Democrats' fault?
You know what? That's a good question. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I honestly wondered if they're even going to recognize it, or if they're just going to just put it all together.
Well, if they can spin it to their benefit, they absolutely will, and they will spin it. They're going to get this somehow it's Nancy Pelosi's fault, or Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Well, it's somebody's fault. It's got to be. And so if they do pursue it, if they find a good angle, they're going to run. They're going to run with this.
Yeah, not a mention of it on their website.
Not yet. Maybe tomorrow. They still have to wait to hear from Robert Murdoch on what they should do.
Yeah.
I don't really know what. I mean, can we just start saying "told you so"?
but it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know what? Though, no matter what it is, it's not going to matter, right? It's not going to matter, because the people who are in their right mind already know what's going on, and been telling people this forever. And the people who are in the cult, well, you're never going to convince them to get out of a cult. How do you convince somebody to get out of a cult?
And you know what Trump's going to say first? First words out of his mouth: fake news.
Oh yeah. Well,
so they'll dismiss it right away. It's fake news, and yeah. Then Sean Hannity will go to town.
At what point does this thing all finally break down? This is the question I'm starting to have with everybody. At what point does all this bullshit just start to break down? Or have we gotten to a point where it already broke down, and you're just not going to convince anybody else? Because I mean, honestly, they could come out and show, I don't know, that Trump, I don't know, was sleeping with 12-year-old girls, and the people who are supporting him are not going to change anything.
Yep, it won't stick. Nothing sticks to that guy.
Right, the Teflon Don.
Yeah, it really is.
The Teflon Donald. Lou, so does it really even matter anymore? Does any of this shit at the end of the day even matter anymore?
No, what matters is getting him indicted along with the family to cut this off where it should be cut off and knock authoritarianism back before the next election.
Do you think this helps get him indicted?
I don't know, because they're going to make sure with what they're looking at, they're going to have to make sure all the ducks are in a row and everything else.
Yep.
I mean, because basically what he's done there, with stuff leaking out. I mean, what charges are there? Yeah, he was a dumbass. He was a Manchurian candidate for Putin.
and everybody knew it, right? I mean, everybody.
Except him.
Well, with everybody who watches Fox Entertainment, because Hillary told you that, right?
Did he give away national secrets when he was there? That's a different story.
Well, yeah.
All this does is cement the beliefs, like we just stated, that we've known for 4 years. He's a piece of shit, and he'll do anything for a buck.
Well, he's got a bit of a problem now because now he can't do it for a buck. Now he's got to do it to stay out of jail, I think. Right? Now
Yeah.
he doesn't have much of a choice. We're gonna have some fake bullshit now because the cyber ninjas have finished their audit in Maricopa County.
Did somebody in Congress want an audit of the cyber ninjas?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
Well, according to the Cyber Ninjas, 74,000 absentee ballot mail-in records are missing. 25,000 duplicates. Voter rolls a mess, bleeding through. Tons of thousands of ballots on demand. Admin password issues. How about that one? Admin password. That's what happens when your password is admin, right? Or change me.
Password.
Password. Sometimes they're clever and they use a capital P, right?
But oh well, I got to bail out.
Okay,
Oh,
Lou.
you're not. Never mind, they're not ready.
They're going to be in a second. So if you look on Twitter right now, and it's all the right wing bullshit, right? That are doing this. So which you knew was going to come, right? I wonder, Master Grand, do you think anything is going to come of this? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, no, I don't think so either. They just spent a whole fuck ton of money and over what?
Yep. And we're going to forget about it in 6 weeks.
I hope they get charged for all those machines they boogered up.
Yeah, I do too. This is unbelievable that they're actually.
Who's paying for it?
Oh, the voters pay for it. The citizens paid for it.
This is coming out of taxpayers' money?
Yeah.
Who authorized these people?
The Senate, the state Senate.
Well, it's all fodder for the Republicans for their next upcoming election. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
We told you so. Told you voter fraud.
That's an interesting that's an interesting stance. Lou, are they laying groundwork then for the 2024 election?
Well, they have nothing else to run on. Think about it. What are they running on? Election fraud. There is none. Immigrants, the border. It's been that way for 30 years. It hasn't changed, except if you're an idiot and don't follow the news. What else? The usual: taking your guns, killing babies, eating babies.
In a basement that didn't exist.
In a basement, yeah. In a pizza shop that doesn't have a basement.
Right. Well,
what else? What else they scare? Yeah, they're gonna. What was the latest one? Who was the ass clown? Was that Hawthorne? They're coming to take your Bible and your gun.
Yeah, that's it. Both of them.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all know, yeah, they're coming to take both of them.
Coming to take your Bible
and your gun.
Perfect. Perfect.
Right.
And they really do. They really do think people are stupid. You know.
Well, they're right, actually.
And they're right.
You know the part they've been coming after our guns for what, 40 years now?
At least
40 years they've been coming after my guns. 40 years. I still haven't.
Yeah, and don't forget, who was the president that banned assault weapons?
In fact, they've increased. Right?
The president who banned assault weapons was
Reagan.
Reagan, right?
Wasn't it Reagan that had the assault weapons ban?
I was thinking he wanted it done, but it might have not been till either.
Probably then Clinton.
It might have been either H.W. or Clinton, actually, and they were both wanted them banned. All three did right in a row.
Yeah.
It was 1994, so actually it started with Reagan. It went to H.W. because he quit the NRA because he said they were idiots.
Yeah.
And Clinton got it banned in 94.
But
That's
Reagan started it. I think Reagan
started it. Yeah, well, that happens after you get shot. You have a tendency to not want to get shot again.
Guns don't kill people.
You have a tendency to want to shy away from that stuff.
Still, the all-time classic rebuttal to that is if guns don't kill people, why do they give them to soldiers to go to war? Ozzy Osbourne.
I just like that one. He was a congressman or senator who said, "Look, we need to have licenses to drive cars on the odd event that it could actually potentially kill someone. And guns, which are made specifically to kill things, we don't need any license at all. In fact, the mention of a license will bring everybody crazed." I wish they would have that same, enthusiasm for insurance problems that we have in this country, for healthcare issues that we have in this country. I wish we would have that type of enthusiasm to, stop the. Get a load of this. I wish I was joking. Unfortunately, I'm 100% serious. I got in the mail a test for colon cancer, self-test. And so I did it, thinking, "Whoa, official, looked great." It's like, wow, this is actually something neat, something good, I thought. So I did it, sent it in. And my wife ends up, after I told her I got this and I did it, she said, "I wish you would have held off." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because those are not affiliated with our insurance, and therefore, if it comes back positive, the insurance will deny me because now it's a pre-existing condition."
Ooh. Well, it's only comes back with the problem.
So by doing this, if it comes back with colon cancer, I'm screwed.
No, you're
The
screwed.
insurance company is just like, bang, because your insurance company, ka-ching. we just saved ourselves another claims ratio going up.
Well, you're looking at the same group. Did you hear what's going on in Tennessee? They eliminated any flyers or anything as far as don't get the COVID vaccine, and they've extended it as far as they're not even notifying people to have their kids vaccinated against, smallpox, diphtheria, polio, measles.
MMR, yeah. MMR vaccines. You're not going to see any mention of any vaccine that has anything to do with the state. How about that one?
Are they trying to kill their constituents?
Both of you have heard me say, if you ever want to defeat an atheist's argument about is there a God, this is all you need. Because we are incapable of making good decisions, and we should have died off a long time ago if it wasn't for divine intervention. This is the perfect example. Why are we still walking the earth whenever we can do something this incredibly moronic and do it as a whole? This is why. That's all you need to know. This is all you need to know.
I was on the plane today, and I won't tell you, you guys can guess. Why don't you guess his name? Okay, so this guy comes walking in. Everybody has to have the mask on up over your nose, right? This clown walks in with the mask on his chin. First of all, try to take a guess. What type of person, what type of name would a person of that you're thinking of, what name would this gentleman have?
Tucker.
Bubba.
Bubba?
Yes. So the stewardess said, your mask needs to be over covering your face, sir. And he just he pulled it and snapped it, and just snapped right here. So still down. And it needs to cover your nose. And then he just pushed it up. Well, he went back to his seat, took it off. So she had to go back and tell him to put it back on. I'm going, oh my gosh, this is it. This asshole is going to cause us delay. We're going to get stuck. TSA is going to come in. Yeah, because he was one of those. Okay? He was one of those morons. In fact, I swear, I hate to say this. I'm sorry. This is terrible. But I'm going to say it anyway. He's the one who needs to catch the COVID and go to Jesus. I mean, it's just horrible. And and by the way, I am sorry for many reasons. It's not good, but still, it makes you so incensed. It's like, dude, it's a regulation. It's a federal law. Don't you live in the United States? That's not my country, not my president.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, it is. If not, go fly your own plane. Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so
as soon as he walked out, I just knew.
Bubba had a problem. That's the grant. It's been over a year. It's been over a year. And we're still going through this same bullshit. Still going through the same bullshit over a year later.
Yeah.
It's not going to end.
Well, here's some good news. You guys want to hear some good news? No? Okay, I'll tell you good news. It's just like, I'm not. Get on with it. Good news, 1 week sober, completely.
I'm sorry?
1 week sober.
Oh, yeah?
Huh?
I still didn't understand you.
1 week sober.
Who, you?
Me.
Look out.
Yep, I got into a program, and so 1 week.
1 week. 1 day at a time.
One day at a time, exactly.
That's how you do
Fighting
it.
the battle.
Yep.
Fighting the battle. But It's going good. Programs really makes a big difference. Gives you something to fight for. And so, yeah. So,
Good for you.
and I feel strong. I mean, I'm not, easily tilted. So, anyway, just wanted to give you the good news there.
Well, if you need somebody to talk to about that, I know an expert.
I mean, yes, I do. I know someone too. Yes. And thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm very happy for you.
Thanks. Yeah, feel good. Feel real good. Feel a lot of energy coming back.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Good for you. He threw me off. I had something I wanted to throw it out there. Oh well, it's gonna have to keep.
Yeah, look at that. I went past 6,000 one days at a time and missed it.
Whenever we had talked, right? Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. The child tax credit goes into play today, right? So the government's sending $300 direct payments to families with kids, trying to get kids out of poverty. Good idea, bad idea?
There's a lot of kids that need it. Will the money be used properly? Just like anything else, who knows?
Well, there's always been the argument that I've had with conservatives. If somebody's not going to use that credit or that extra 300 or whatever you want to call it for whatever purpose there is, my argument is that's just how it goes. That just means they're not good parents. You can't dictate how people are gonna behave and act and do whatever it is they're going to do. You just got to have faith that the folks that are not going to do the right thing with it are the extreme minority, and the people who are going to do the right thing with it, who actually need it, are going to be the majority, the huge majority, and they're going to end up benefiting from it. When they benefit from it, we all do. Now, how do you do that? How do you tell somebody what to do with that money? It's like I hear people who will be behind somebody at a convenience store, and they have their welfare card, right? PH, the access card, and they're buying a couple of Pepsis and some chips or whatever, and it's like that's not where that money should go. Well, who the hell are you to tell them that?
Yeah.
If that's what they choose to spend it on, that's what they're going to spend it on. I'll be honest. They may not be making such bad decisions because that's a whole hell of a lot cheaper than a good salad and bottled water. You know
what? Healthy food's expensive.
And I wonder if that whatever money they're allocated for the month, they could actually stretch long enough if they were actually buying proper food. Especially
It's why there's a lot of mac and cheese sold through those cards and stuff, because it's cheap.
It's cheap.
Things like that are actually a lot of carbs.
Ramen noodles. They're what, $0.10 for a container of them? I mean,
it's that kind of stuff's cheap, and that's what they get to stretch it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice, right? So even if you are one of the good guys, one of the people who are actually doing it right, what, do you think you're buying lunch meat? You think you're going to the deli? Right?
Well, you know what? A red bell pepper at Giant Eagle's $3.99 a pound.
Yeah, and
or you could get Or you could get 4 boxes of 1 pound pasta for the same price.
And a chicken sandwich at McDonald's is $1. $1. Ramen noodles are 50 cents. Who's got the fucked up priorities? The person who's buying all that, or the way our system is? That's something that's actually good. Lettuce. My father gives it away every year. It's coming out of his ears by the time his garden's done. He's giving it to everybody in the family. When was the last time he went to McDonald's and bought 12 chicken sandwiches and said, "Here, everybody have some"? When you go to the store, which one's more expensive? Right? It's ridiculous.
Oh, well. All right, looks like I'm bailing now, so I'll, Master Grant, keep going one day at a time.
I will.
And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, see you, Lou. I will not be on tomorrow. I've got to run as well, so.
Oh, we're all getting off early? Okay, well then, before we do that, let's, Master Grant, I had this thing up specially for you today. Anyhow.
Yes, I love it. Great stuff.
You know.
All right.
Okay, Lou,
Bye, Lou.
we'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, yeah. Well, we won't. Did he say he was on tomorrow?
Lou's on tomorrow, yes.
Lou's on tomorrow. You're not. Okay. For everybody, today's our last Thursday. For starting next week, we will be on Fridays only, but we're starting earlier. We're starting at 5 o'clock, and we're going to go as long as we can. We're hoping for 2 hours, but we'll go as long until we run out of shit to talk about. Then we're getting the hell off. Master Grant, if you can, hang on a second. Whenever we get off, there's something I want to talk to you about real quick. It'll take 2 minutes of your time, I promise. Okay. For everybody watching, we will be back tomorrow, our last 2-day week until we change our schedule again. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and God bless. We'll see everybody. Tomorrow. Bye-bye.